Welcome to Lost in the Sauce. Well, today I'm in Somerville, Mass, right off Holland Street between Davis Square and Teal Square at a brand new restaurant, Restaurant Sabor. What makes this restaurant so different is it features Bosnian food, which is very unique to this area. Most people haven't heard of Bosnia except for the Sarajevo Winter Olympic Games and the war in Bosnia in 1992. Well, two gentlemen from Bosnia got together and started this restaurant. And we're going to go and meet them, the chef, and get a taste of Bosnian cuisine and culture.
I love food and I like to go out to eat, but what I felt here in Boston area, there's not many places that offer like nice atmosphere, convenience, good food, healthy food and value price. So I felt there's a room for the restaurant like one that we have, and I met my partner who was general manager at Brew Moon, who is excellent manager and very good with customers, with staff. Then we also knew the chef. And I was finishing Babson College. I graduated this May. So I felt I have very strong team and I was able to raise the capital, and the restaurant is really something that there's so many skills that you need in order to make restaurant and to run, and that is a challenge. And everybody said, you know, it's a hard, and actually that is what's excited to me. That is really hard, and
the challenge.
The challenge, and I did all this construction mostly by myself, and hiring people, deciding the menu. There's so many things that are excited about the business, and also greeting the customers, speaking with people like you were here, we were sitting. So I was basically working, promoting my restaurant, but I had a lot of fun.
No, I know that you were a colonel in the Bosnian army in 1992 in the war.
Yeah.
What experience from that did you think you could bring to a business like this? The discipline?
I will say the mostly making decision under hard time. And the restaurant business you have to make like any business, but also if you want to open the restaurant in 3 to 4 months period, you have to deal with so many suppliers. You have to deal with so many investors, I mean creditors, and you have to negotiate with everybody. And during the war, actually, I had to negotiate some. I surrounded the biggest barracks, and I led that operation. I had to negotiate with. So that's negotiation skills, working under pressure, which is like if you have a month of battle and you have 3,000 people to take care of them, to have them to eat, somebody is killed, to be removed. Making constant decisions. So for me, when somebody said a lot of stress, but that is something that helped me. That this period,
you're very organized. You're thinking.
I'm organized. I can make decisions quickly, and in the army, you see, because if you are in charge of 3,000 people, so you don't do everything by yourself. You see other people's strength, and then you can use this in the final goal. And that's for with me with the partners and other people who came to help. So basically to write down what needs to be done, what skills you have, and where is your big spot, and find people, and you have to motivate people. and that is like motivate. If it's hard time, it's going to be okay, and that is the I will say good thing that you learn in the war. Now, everything else is is really bloody.
That's why, yes, the good things you were able
good
to get
things
from
that
it.
is, and I could transfer them.
Well, let me ask you more about the restaurant. Why did you pick Somerville? I mean, you must have done some research on the area. This is unique for the area. I mean, I don't know of any other Bosnian restaurants around.
The Somerville, we didn't look Boston area because we felt that people in Cambridge, Somerville, Medford, Arlington are people who like more to experience international stuff. And Harvard Square is very expensive for us and very hard to get, so that option went down. Then Davis Square is lately very popular. Location is very crowded, was hard. And Till Square is like very close to Cambridge, Medford, Arlington. And there's also large Bosnian population living, like 10,000 Bosnians who live very close to this location. So our customers are like 70% Americans, 30% Bosnians. And sometimes that is, depends on the night who is there.
Tell me a little bit about the furniture. These copper tables are wonderful. I really love them. They're so unique, and I know you got a lot of the stuff from Bosnia. You got everything from Bosnia.
Everything actually came from Bosnia, and the reason why I did from Bosnia are two reasons. First one, to really have unique thing. And these tables are handmade copper tables that people make in Bosnia for past thousands of years, and actually there's not many people now who can make it. And I wanted to have these unique tables and also to help those people economically. So to buy from them is the best way to help them, because the unemployment there is around 70%.
Wow.
So here is 5.7 and everybody is complaining. So maybe the real unemployment is 50% because there's a lot of people are working and there's not showing transaction of money. So I went there to Bosnia and ordered all this furniture, made design with these craftsmen. I said what I need and we will sit together, and that is also a lot of fun. I mean, it's on one way stress, which color, that is the hardest part. Which colors goes which colors, but we came, my partner and I, some people put inputs. A lot of people suggest something, so that is, they feel, but there were a lot of good ideas that we incorporated into design. And what I would say, my partner from the beginning, when I told, I said we will have these copper tables that are original and all this atmosphere. And what is for me like, I told you this when you were here, they said the food is excellent, but atmosphere is nothing. Or like there's a lot of places in Boston you have very good food, but inside it doesn't create any like feeling, relax. It's just you go there, you eat and go out.
Right.
In our country and most of the Europe, people go out not only because to eat, they go to socialize, they like overall atmosphere, and you don't open a restaurant or cafe if it's not nice, because nobody is going to come.
Right.
You have
it's the experience. It's the food. It's the atmosphere.
So all this together: convenience, the atmosphere, service, good food, healthy food, and value price, and that is something that I believe in, and is going to. I think you can trick somebody a few times, but people will see where is the real value. So
let me ask you one more thing. What does sabor actually mean?
A lot of Bosnians don't know what it means, because it's an old word coming from Persia or somewhere Turkey, because Bosnia was under Turkish Empire. So the word is used in a couple of countries. In Bosnia, when you come, you are stressed and you worry about something, which everybody here does. All people tell you sabr, and that means like, don't worry, everything will be fine, relax. So
it's relax.
Relax, enjoy. And don't worry. I mean, that is what is the meaning of the name, and I think is something that we all need, like, to relax more.
Well, basically here it's when you start your own business, you obviously there's only one job requirement: please everybody as much as you can and as the best as you can, and be honest about it. Obviously, there can't be any hidden agendas, otherwise you wouldn't run it your own way. But the job requirements are basically being here and monitoring service, atmosphere, and people who come here on a daily basis, to make sure that whatever they experience, that I experience it too with them, and that I know at every given moment how they're feeling, how they're enjoying, and should there be any comments, concerns, or anything like that, I can solve it immediately.
Now, you're also dealing with the staff also as
Absolutely.
well, right? All the training for any of them?
Absolutely. We spent a week prior to the opening on training, front of the house and back of the house. And we basically had to explain to everybody, where are we coming from? What's going on here? Because it's not easy just to walk in the restaurant, see copper tables and see the beautiful design and say, hey, this is going to work. It takes training, it takes consistency, it takes a good relationship between people to bring that to a certain level in order to please the guest. And the training itself took a week, as I said. And it was basically consisted out of the service steps, or steps of service. It was consistent of wine, knowledge, extensive food training in every possible manner. I mean, menu descriptions, names, proper pronunciation, and so on.
What would you like the people, you know, someone who was watching who didn't know anything about Bosnia, to know about Bosnia, the food, the people? I mean, you know, we didn't know that much about Bosnia until, you know, the Winter Games, obviously, and then the war. What would you think that, you know, what describes it to you, your homeland? I mean, what?
It's one of those places where you hardly would be, you know, drawn to. But once when in there, you become aware of what beautiful place that was, or what it could provide you with in a sense of different cultures. You face, you know, in the same block you have mosque, synagogue, church, you know, and then during the holidays everybody visits each other and it's singing all along. You know, days are same for everybody. There's no high class, middle class, or talking pretty much before the war. And what I think is important right now is that to go there and see how country looks after the war in 21st or the beginning of 21st century, and what could still happen to us. What's beautiful about it? People, food, communication, very open heart people, very much so. And they welcome you, they treat you with food, drink.
What attracted you to the restaurant business?
You know, what attracted me to restaurant business is the fact that you can really be yourself. No matter what you do in the restaurant, you can be yourself. And you can do it in a way that, you know, for everybody says, you know, customer is always right. Right. And now imagine if I would come to work feeling every day that I'm wrong, how would I feel? So I said, there's no right or wrong, there's true. There's simple truth. So he said, if I want to do something, then it better be truth, and that's it. I like wine. I very much enjoy wine. I like good food, and I like good, you know, atmosphere of socializing, of simple socializing, where people are happy to be somewhere, where they're happy enjoying food, talking to the table next to each other, and just creating the really scene that we have at home, where, you know, everybody knows each other in the bar, even if they can't remember each other's name tomorrow. But they know for that particular moment, they're all friends. And I like that, and I like that, you know, I can approach everybody and be honest about it.
Now, you have an excellent rapport with the people who come in. I've seen you go around to the tables, and you're very sincere.
Thank you.
I can feel it immediately when you come in here. You can feel it. Is that something? Is that part of your philosophy? I mean, that's obviously you, but that must be something you're really feeling inside, going around and doing.
It's, you know, the first take that I, and when we discussed about this was, you know, why would somebody, there's God knows how many restaurants around. Why would somebody pick this restaurant to come in? There's really, you know, not a simple explanation except they could be friends, they could be family, or people are experimenting. So for those that are providing us support, being family and friends, I very much thank them. For those experiencing it, I really want them to know that, you know what, you made the right choice. And I very much am aware that you could have gone somewhere else. And I thank you for that. And I thank you for giving us a chance to present ourselves, to try to show you what we're all about, that it's not fake.
Okay, so Chef, what are we going to do here first?
Well, thank you for joining us today. We're going to be preparing our signature roast items today, which we do in our open hearth roast, which is situated out in the dining room. But we start them back here, this wonderful tilt skillet. And I'm going to be searing these short ribs of beef and also some lamb leg roasts. We're going to sear them, and then we combine them with a wonderful bed of vegetables, which includes onions, peppers, carrots, tomatoes, mushrooms, and also potatoes.
Very colorful.
They're seasoned with our secret blend of spices. And we take this and we place it in our open hearth roast, which is out front, and it's going to slowly roast for about an hour and a half. So all these wonderful flavors under that cast iron lid are going to intermingle and just
It's like a braising almost.
seal in
Do you
the
have any
juices.
liquid in there?
Yeah, there's only a little bit of liquid. There's a touch of wine. It's all the wonderful liquids that's going to come out of these vegetables and out of the meat that just creates this wonderful combination of flavors and aromas sealed in under that cast iron lid, and it just roasts and just creates like this wonderful mouth-watering, delicious meal with the meat that's just like so tender and just exquisite. So why don't we get right started with that? Like I said, I have some nice big 16-ounce beef short ribs that we're going to put right in here and start to brown. And we want to do that first so that we make sure that the meat is seared on the outside, and that's going to lock in
All those
the
juices.
juices and get it to cook just a little bit faster. That's why we're doing it. Okay, next we're going to prepare one of our shrimp appetizer, which is it's an interpretation of some different Mediterranean-style foods. They do a lot of seafood wrapped in vine leaves and grape leaves and done on the grill. It imparts a wonderful, the grilled, charcoal-y kind of flavor, and at the same time it helps keep the fish, which is usually fairly delicate, moist and tender, without really overcooking it too much. So it's a very nice little shrimp appetizer we have. I have large 1620 shrimp here, which I have peeled and deveined, and I have on skewers. I have some grape leaves, which we're just going to lay out on the cutting board here. And Sabor is all about these exotic aromas and fragrances from all across the Mediterranean. It's such a rich, wonderful cultural background there. So we've incorporated different flavors and seasonings with all the different dishes. This one today, our shrimp appetizer uses a green olive tapenade, which we've taken green olives with roasted peppers and garlic and lemon, all these wonderful flavors and aromas, a little allspice, and blended them all together. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and coat these grape leaves with this tapenade, which is going to season the shrimp, and then we're going to wrap up the shrimp inside these grape leaves. Season them with a little salt and pepper, and then we're just going to put them on the grill. Okay, so I'm just going to take these, lay them in here, and then just wrap these right up so that all that wonderful flavor
And
of
grill
the
it
green
just like
olive
that.
tapenade is locked in and seasons that shrimp, and it's really just fantastic. The aromas of these roasting olives with the roasted peppers combined with the wonderful flavors of the shrimp, and you get all these flavors and aromas off these grape leaves, and it's just a fabulous, fabulous dish. We're going to take this and serve it with a French-style sauce, which is a saffron rouille, which is basically, it's a mayonnaise-based sauce, which is flavored with garlic and lemon and saffron and a little pepper. It's a nice spicy little sauce. And again, it's a simple but yet very flavorful dish. Again, everything, my style of cooking has evolved over the years, and it really, the main thing that interests me is a sophistication of flavors without the food being pretentious or looking like you don't want to touch it or you're afraid of it or it's going to fall over when it gets to the table. Really, it doesn't really appeal to me at all. I really like food that looks like you want to eat it. The plate comes to the table and it's just, all these aromas are going up in your nose and it's just fabulous and you just want to eat it. So
Have you collected these ideas over the years as all of your different experiences?
absolutely. I've had many, many years of experience in cooking and restaurants, and certainly, my style has developed over the years, and this has, been a great opportunity for me to showcase those new, or they're really old ideas and old ways of doing things they're sort of becoming popular again.
That's great. So you've been around 17 years cooking, or is that a little more than that?
My career actually started long before that, but I've been earning my keep in the restaurants for 18 years now.
Wow.
So traveled around a little bit up and down the East Coast, and Boston's a terrific metropolitan area to be in, and glad to be here, and tremendous opportunities.
Did you get any ideas from like the Bosnian food from these guys? Did they bring stuff to the table for you to try? Or?
Well, absolutely. It was the project as it was brought to me over a year ago. They sought out my help in developing the project, and they wanted to do some traditional Bosnian recipes, and at the same time, really offering a lot more than that. So we kind of decided that, hey, we can do a nice sort of pan-Mediterranean, picking and choosing some really nice dishes from all across the Mediterranean, tying it together and adding in some of those local Balkan specialties, which are sort of a little more hearty, a little more
traditional,
like this roast, this fabulous roast in the open hearth grill, which maybe we'll get to talk about a little later, is directly from that. It's actually originally from Persia. And certainly, there's some Central European things that we're doing, which kind of blend in with their concept of what they wanted to do.
So it's a general Mediterranean influence on much of the foods that you have here?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we've really, I picked and chosen different items and tried to make the menu make sense as a whole. And again, we've taken foods from Italy, from Greece, from Turkey, from the Middle East, from North Africa, and we're kind of showcasing them all. And again, it's all about, for me, it's all about the flavors and the aromas, and just feeling good when you come here and sit down and one of these plates is put in front of you. Just it's like, wow, all of a sudden you warm up inside, and you're just glad to be alive.
How do you see the menu evolving for you in the future, or specials, or you keep working and thinking up new ideas and concepts?
Absolutely, as a chef, you're constantly in the market, seeing things change due to seasonality and rhythms and cycles throughout the year. And we'll be taking all of those seasonal items and again, with Mediterranean influences, presenting them. The short ribs that we're doing right now is actually something that's brand new. We have a really nice Portuguese-style salt cod and potato cake with a roasted pepper relish that we're doing as an addition right now, which is fabulous. And that's really the problem for me, was when I came to this project, there was 1,000 different items that we wanted to do, and really narrowing it down to the ones that we thought were going to be just fantastic and that people were going to be receptive to. That was the hard part.
That's great.
There's an endless palette of things to work with. So, we'll see how things come along, but there's always more food to be cooked. As you can see, we're starting to get a little char on these grape leaves, which is fabulous. I use a lot of this, it's a very nice olive oil that we got a direct line on, a Dalmatian extra virgin olive oil, which is very light, very fruity. It's got a magnificent fragrance and just a great nose. And we're really featuring this on a lot of dishes, so I'd like to put a little bit on these shrimp. Again, it's all about building the layers of flavors and incorporating, again, the flavors of the olives, the grape leaves, the lemon, just all really support the flavor of those delicate shrimp really nicely.
It seems to bind together very well there.
It works very nicely. I'm very happy with how this, and the people are just loving it. It's a great, great dish. So, again, like I said, our presentations are really straightforward and to the point. we don't, you know, I like to spend a lot of my time and effort in creating the flavor of the food and presentations that look like they make sense. So what I've got here, again, is just this really nice, it's a French, it's like a garlic aioli that's flavored with saffron and a little hot chili pepper to make it a little more interesting. And we just serve this very simply. Just going to take these and put them right on the plate with a nice dollop of this sauce. Easy to handle, fun to do. It looks nice. And we're just going to, again, emphasize these flavors with a little bit of this nice Dalmatian extra virgin oil. And off you go.
Okay, you're going to tell me a little bit about these pots. We talked a little bit inside about them.
Okay, sure thing. This is sort of, you know, it's the heart of our house. It's our open hearth roast, which is a traditional Bosnian style of cooking. It's actually developed from Persia. It's an ancient style of cooking, which different cultures brought with them as they traveled across, you know, the Mediterranean area, the Balkans, the crossroads of civilization, and a lot of different influence. So you see a lot of different influences going on. But again, this is originally, it's an old Persian style of cooking, and it's an open hearth roast, which we sort of adapted a little bit to be more practical in a restaurant setting. But what's going on here is we have these big steel trivets, we have these big, huge cast iron lids, and we have some big copper pots underneath them that are getting hot. And traditionally, these would be set right in an open, like a wood fire or a charcoal fire.
Right.
And, you know, traveling people would have these pots or lids with them. They would build a huge fire at the end of the day. They would set this, the tripod right in there, put their roasts in there with whatever kind of vegetables they had with them, whatever they could find, you know, sliced, and put their roast meat in there, put the lid on, and then bank the whole thing up with live charcoal or wood fire. So again, the whole concept is that you have this sealed roast going on with the heat coming in from the top, the heat coming in from the bottom. Everything is just seared, caramelized, and it's just a wonderful, delicious meal that it creates, you know, all roasting by itself together, just untouched. It's just fabulous. So now we're going to load up our Sach. We've got this very heavy cast iron lid, which is nice and hot now from preheating. So I've got to put that down. And now we're going to put in our beef short ribs right on top of the brazier here. And then we're going to put our nice hot cast iron lid back on top.
And how long will this go for?
I'll check this in about an hour and a half it takes for them to get done, and then we'll turn down the heat and we'll just let them slowly roast through the evening, just like they just get better and better as the night goes on.
The open hearth sits as a central focus in Restaurant Sabor, welcoming you with its warmth and filling your senses with roasted spices. I'd like to thank Chris Kane, the executive chef here at Sabor.
Thank you very much for joining us. It was wonderful to have you.
Thank you. Harris, thank
Gerry,
you very much.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Hazem, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
And this come down to Restaurant Sabor here in Somerville. It's a wonderful place. I recommend the food highly. It's a fantastic experience. And once again, for Lost in the Sauce, I'm Gerry Beaney. We'll see you next time. So long. Let's go look at stuff here.
Thank you.